Chicken legs are actually one of my favorite meats to can, just because not only do I get the meat, which I can pull off the bone and put into my soups, I also get bone broth out of it. The other thing that I really like about doing these chicken legs is that it's so easy. All I do is I'll take the chicken legs and I'll put 2 of them with the fat side going down, and then I'll do 2 with the fat side going up. Sometimes you'll get some legs that are a little bit bigger and you can't fit 4 legs in, and that's fine. But generally speaking, I can fit 4 in a jar. Sometimes I'll purposefully do less in a jar because I want more of the bone broth. Some of the kids will complain that I can't up the chicken legs just because they really like the barbecued chicken legs. And so I try to do a combination of both. This is really nice for preserving them until later though. And I mean, honestly, there's so many times where I'm able to find a good deal on the chicken legs that it makes it really worth it. Now this step is optional, but I add 1 teaspoon of salt to each jar. It makes them preserve a little bit better, and the flavor is better that way too. Then I add hot water over the top until I get up to 1 inch of headspace, which is the space from the top of the food to the top of the jar. Really, the only difficult thing about canning the chicken legs is the pressure canner. This part is just so easy. And then I'll use a wooden chopstick and release any air bubbles that have been trapped in my jar. There's usually not too many in with the legs here. And then I'll use a clean cloth that has just a little bit of white vinegar on it to wipe off the rim of my jars. This makes it so that if there's any of the oils that have gotten on the rim, that it won't interfere with the seal. Next, I'll place my lids and rings on until they're fingertip tight. You can see how easy this is, and this is the same process you do for any bone-in chicken, whether it be breast with bones, thighs, the legs, any of it. Now to prepare my canner, I'll add 3 quarts of hot water. Then I'll add my jars into my canner. I'll be processing this in the pressure canner for 75 minutes at 10 pounds of pressure if you're at sea level. I'm at 1,200 feet, so I'll do it for 11 pounds of pressure. Then I'll lock my lid into place and put this on medium to high heat until it starts to vent. Now that my canner has begun to vent, I'll set my timer for 10 minutes, and then after that, I'll place my weight on top of the vent. Then I'll watch it carefully as the pressure gauge begins to climb up. Once it hits 11 pounds of pressure, then I'll set my 75-minute timer. If at any point during that 75 minutes it drops below 11 pounds of pressure, then I have to restart my timer. So it's really important to monitor that. My timer's gone off, so now I'll turn off the heat and allow the pressure to drop naturally. Now that the pressure gauge says it's at 0 and the indicator is down, I'll remove my weight. And that's just kind of a safety feature, so if there was any lingering pressure, it could come out at that point. So now I'll unlock my lid and pull it off, having it face away from me so that the steam doesn't go into my face. And now I'll let this cool for 10 minutes. Then I remove the jars from the canner and place them about 1 to 2 inches apart on a heat-resistant surface. I'll allow them to rest for about 24 hours so that they can get a good seal. I know that they have a good seal because the center of the lid will be depressed down. Then I'll remove the rings and use hot soapy water to wash off the outside. After that, I store them in a cool, dry, dark location and use them in the next 1 to 3 years. If for some reason any of them did not seal, I would put them in my refrigerator and use them right away.